covering today?
Oh, today. Oh, yeah. Thanks for getting me back on track.
Would you like to introduce what we're talking about today, Bruce?
I would. Today, but now you should know what we're talking about. Today, we're going to cover the return of the Archons. Are you Archons? And it was directed by, we love him, Joseph Pevney.
Right.
Is awesome. And he does 14 episodes of Star Trek, I believe, right? Him and Mark Daniels, they both tie for 14, right? And then it's written by Gene Roddenberry, and the teleplay is by Boris Sobelman. Now, Boris Sobelman doesn't do any more Star Treks, so he was invited to do this by Gene and said, "Here, I got a little story, and here's the Bible. Go ahead and do something." He does it, and he even does a freebie. I don't know what these things are called. The
oh yeah, the
spec stuff
on
right.
spec. Yeah.
So he doesn't put Gene Roddenberry's name on it.
Uh-huh.
But Gene kind of came up with it first. So Gene fought for it, and fought, I don't know if that's the right way. He said, "Hey, look, I'm the one that gave him the story points." And so that's why it says story by Gene Roddenberry and teleplay by Boris. This was aired originally February 9th, 1967. And it's episode 21 by air date. By production order, it's 22.
Cool. So do you want to tell them what the story's about, or do you want me to tell them what the story's about?
You need to tell me what you think the story is about.
However, I'm going to tell you what the story is about as I watched it, not what I think it's about, right?
Oh, the way you watched it and not what they're trying to tell you. Okay, go ahead. Let me have it. What's up? What's up?
Well, I don't know. You're going kind of deep already in this conversation. Anyway, so they somehow, I don't know how they picked this planet to beam down on, but they beam down on this planet. Do you know why they picked this planet to beam down on and check it out?
Oh, right. It opens up with both of those guys, Sulu and
They're already there. Yeah.
They're already there. Oh, because remember, the Archons came there, who knows, 100 years earlier or something, right?
Yes.
And they're probably checking up, like on the Iosians, remember a piece of the action, what kind of damage they did. They're probably,
Well, they didn't know they didn't know that, though, the Archons.
Well, they knew how to dress. Well,
No, they only found out about the Archons when Captain Kirk finally goes, "Oh, the Archons, was that a spaceship?" And they go, "Yes." Remember?
He didn't say. What if we are?
Well, they did that too, but remember when they were first talking, he goes, "Oh," because then he found out that the Enterprise was in danger. Remember? Is there enough pull from whatever's on this planet to endanger a starship? Yeah. Remember? So that's when he finds out who the Archons are.
Okay, so why are they down on the planet? We don't know. They're just visiting planets. That's their job.
Right. They're just kind of checking it out. And
kind
they're dressed and
know that they're down there with the people dressed up and interfering with this living, growing.
Well, actually, we catch them in action when they're on the planet surface. So we have Sulu and another member of the
crew
complement, a red shirt, although he's not dressed in red shirt, running away from the planet's inhabitants, trying to get away. And Sulu gets hit by he doesn't get hit. He just gets pointed at a rod and it does something to him. And then he gets beamed up to the Enterprise, and he's telling Captain Kirk, keeps asking him where the other guy is, and Sulu doesn't answer him. He's got like a blank look in his face and says, "You're not of the body, right?" And so then they're saying, there's something weird going down on the planet's surface. So they send a complement of people, Captain Kirk,
big group of people,
Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, and a couple other guys, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And a couple of red shirts. So they go down to check out what's happening, and they go just about the time of the red, right? Is that what's the time called that they're
the red
celebration?
Hour.
The red hour. So the red hour is just, what is it, 6 o'clock? It's just about 6 o'clock, I think it is on the clock.
Yes, it is. So it's 3 minutes to, and they said, you can go get some, your dad can put them up, can't he? Yeah, you can go over there. But it's almost the red hour. So it was like 5:57 or something like that. Well, in fact, you'll see that in the pictures there.
Yeah, we'll say that. So So the red hour strikes, everyone starts taking off their clothes, having this big, massive, no, they start, I don't know, they look like they're taking off their clothes, but they don't. They just kind of, well, some of them are. Doesn't one guy kind of pull off his shirt or something? He starts really ripping off his clothes.
The lady, Tula, reaches for, on her blouse up here, she pulls off one glove.
Yeah.
She, with her gloved hand and her not gloved hand, she reaches into the top of it and she starts to pull. And the
yeah,
is cut.
And then it's cut. Yeah.
And I have all of those drastic pictures of those drastic things. That's a big deal, because the way they portrayed the rape scene it was with the shadows on the wall, and they got this past the censor.
Was that a rape scene, or was he just abusing her? I couldn't tell. I didn't know if that was rape or they were just showing that he was being violent to her.
Well, matter of interpretation. They mentioned it in one of the books I read, and the extreme violence was supposed to be toned down, right? Censors would say, "Hey, you can't do anything."
Yeah.
Jarring, but they, Joseph Pevney, the director, put it shadows on the wall.
Yeah.
And I took some.
So I didn't know if that was a rape scene or he was just kind of like, whatever he was doing to that woman, whatever. So he's got her from behind and she's kind of trying to get away.
So there's several of those scenes in that sequence. When the bell tolls, a guy turns around and reaches for a woman. The woman jumps Kirk. Another woman is running across the street, and I mean.
But the women are just as aggressive as the men, right? The women are just as aggressive and threatening as the men are. So they run into this guy that talks this really weird Irish accent, like, and you can tell him about this guy. He actually looks like a little leprechaun to me, though. The leprechaun. It's almost the red hour. You can go.
They're all pasty.
Well, he's definitely pasty.
Oh, him, white, right? And then the lady, Tula. Okay, so that actor, that guy, not Gary Towns, that plays Bylar, what is his name? One moment. He says, I think it's Lev Mailer who played Bylar, recalled, people were walking on a beat. I was so nervous I couldn't do it. And Joe Pevney, the director, came over and he took me by the hand and he said, now walk with me. He walked with me across the street at the required pace and beat to sort of settle me down. And then I was fine. This episode features Scotty, the first time he commands on the bridge. It's the first time for the Prime Directive.
Right, yeah. First time for the Prime Directive.
The Prime Directive.
That was a Gene Roddenberry creation?
No, Gene Kuhn.
Oh, Gene Kuhn. Okay,
hey,
that's a Gene Kuhn.
Does a ton of stuff. Klingons, Romulans, right? Doesn't he?
Right.
All that stuff. So we got Prime Directive. Kirk also, he outwits machines all the time. Well, here's your first.
Well, you're going a little fast on this one, right? You're not going to the machines already.
No, I'm just saying the first in this episode. Scotty, Prime Directive.
Okay.
Kirk, he's outwitting machines. He does it in several other episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
Kirk against the computers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and ridiculously expensive. This show,
was it really
ridiculously expensive? How about this? Our other episodes were supposed to be, I don't know,
160 to 180,000.
And when they're 178, like the last one, it's like, whoa, what the heck, you overspent? This one, $210,000.
How come?
The extras and the props.
Oh, really?
And so, they were using, because they had to also dress that set. That was the Mayberry set from the Andy Griffith show.
Oh, is that Mayberry set?
Plus the clock. How about the clock? They built that clock for this show.
Oh, did they? Well, I love the behind the clock. You have the heels of Santa Monica somewhere there. You can definitely see those very clearly.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was my opening diatribe. The show opens up and Sulu's losing his cap. Loses his hat, and he kind of reaches for it. I've got it still there, but he doesn't. He tries to reach for it, and then he says, "I got to get the heck out of here." So they keep running. And then you had a comment about falling.
So we have an actor falling. We have the red shirt, not in a red shirt. He actually did a good job. I watched it a couple times. Bruce and I were talking about this prior to us recording this show, and he does a good job because I watched it a couple times. I go, well, what made him fall? And what made him fall? he kind of does a slow fall, as Bruce will explain in a minute, but he does step off the curb, which causes him to fall. And I thought, well, that's a good way to fall, because he's not looking at the curb, he's not looking at where he's running. He kind of steps off the curb and goes into his fall. So tell us about his fall, Bruce.
I think you just did. He kind of leans down, initiates the fall while he's on the curb. I'm gonna go down. Something's going on there, and then he steps off the curb, make sure he's, it's clear for him to fall, and then he leans over some more and he goes down. We have to know what that looks like.
And we did talk about Jerry Maguire. So we're going to put Jerry Maguire's fall, which is a real actor's commitment to a fall, against this fall, and you guys be the judge. So then there's these hooded people. Do you know who these actors are? Because actually, looking at 1422-8 that you have here, that actor looks very tall as compared to, is that Sulu that's in that shot there?
It is. It's George.
I know Sulu's short stature, but this actor is very large.
Looks very tall. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're not sure who that is.
I don't know.
So right here, 23-520 points out one of George Takei. Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Takei's.
Okay.
Takei. So George Takei's one of his finest acting moments when he says,
Landru.
Oh, did he say that in Star Trek: The Motion Picture?
No, he looked like that. Remember, they had all the special effects. It was all about the special effects, and he's sitting at the console, and they're just all looking at the major.
I've got to do a little confession here. I've never seen Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
It's the non-motion picture. There's no motion in it. It's.
Is it? Oh, mostly special. Okay. So no, I've never seen it. I think I saw the one where he had a fight with the space seed one with Montalban.
The Wrath of Khan.
The Wrath of Khan. I think I saw the Wrath of Khan.
Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah. So he was in great shape in Space Seed. He was in great shape, and but it's been so many years ago. Honestly, I can't tell you anything about. But I believe I did see that one. I never saw.
The Search for Whales, The Voyage Home.
I never saw that one. I never saw the one. Don't they? Spock's died on one of them or something, and they send him away in a shuttle or something like that.
For Spock.
And then they have to bring him back to. Life. Yeah. Wasn't that the last one Spock wanted to do? Or Leonard Nimoy, he wanted his character to end or something, and that's why they killed him off. And is that true or is that not true?
I thought he was okay with dying in the Wrath of Khan, and then they brought him back.
Oh, he died in the Wrath of Khan too?
At the end, he's in a torpedo tube, isn't he?
So they go down to the planet surface, the whole entourage, which would be Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, the Doctor, and a couple of, am I missing anyone? It was a couple of the other guys. So that's about it, right? There was like 5 of them in the landing party?
Yeah, probably.
And so they get the red hours up upon them, and there's this woman who had his great dental work done, but the guy's telling them, you got to go find a place to stay. You don't have a place to stay, because they basically say they're not from there. So they go into a hotel. They're greeted by these people who are not controlled by Landau or the body. Well, some of them are, right? That one guy is. The other couple aren't. Now, I don't understand why 2 of them are not controlled by the body or Landau, but one of them is, and why he's with those other ones. If it is the red hour, why isn't he out on the red hour? He keeps condemning them and saying, you're not with the red hour, you should be out there and stuff, but he's not with them either. I didn't understand that.
2 of them are part of the triad, right?
That's right.
Of the resistance.
Right. But the other guy that's with him is not, and he's not in the red hour either.
Yes, because he's old enough to be excluded.
Oh, is that what it is?
If you're old enough, you don't have to.
Okay. So he's old enough to be excluded.
Landru is okay with not destroying all the bodies due to this release of energy partying.
So I think it's kind of like on Earth. It used to be, I think, 57 when you got to retire. I think Landau retires when they're around 65 and a half.
Speaking of is it what's his name? Hold on here. You got a picture.
You're talking about the actor that
the actor, not Harry Towns.
Thorin Thatcher.
No, John, the guy that plays
John
Lormer. John Lormer, who plays Tamar, the guy who gets killed because it was a jest.
Right.
He was in 3 Star Trek episodes.
Is that right?
Right. So he's the guy, the old guy in the cage. You already saw him. He was the old scientist.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's right. Yes.
And then he's also, for the world is hollow and I touched the sky. He says the thing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He's been on actually quite a few. He's a very popular, I think at that time, a very popular television actor at that time. He was probably a stage actor. A lot of these guys kind of remind me of stage actors, don't they? I mean, they more than movie and television actors later on became to be, right? Wasn't William Shatner like a stage actor as well?
Yep.
I don't know about Leonard Nimoy, but
a lot of these guys, like in one of the previous episodes where I read, the guy got that trailer. Remember, didn't we talk? He got his own trailer and it was indoors, and he was like, "Hey, I'm only from New York, stage guy." And he's getting all that TV is all special treatment. Plus, I keep reading that all of these actors, they kept saying over 200 episodes, 200 TV, episodes. Been acting since 1952. These, they've done everything.
I think that he must have been on that set before, because I think John Lormer, who we're talking about, was also on Mayberry RFD. And if that's that set, then he's probably was on that set for Mayberry as well. Or was it Merv Griffin? Not Merv Griffin. What was the name of it?
The Andy Griffith Show.
Andy Griffith. I think he was on Andy Griffith too. Captain Kirk's looking out the window and looking at the stuff. The guy's kind of saying, you guys should be at Red Hour, and they're not there, and why aren't they doing it?
They're young, they should be out there, right? But then they
should be.
We're from the valley. They have different ways, right?
Yeah. But he goes to get the robed the monks anyway. So the monks come in. Should we call them monks? What are they called?
Landru's helpers? Elves?
the body's helpers. I was gonna tell you something. Anyway, the body's helpers here. You're not of the body. So they come in, and that's where Tamar basically sacrifices himself, because he stands in front of his friend. He does, right?
He does, but sacrifices himself for someone else? No, they said stand aside. The other guys go, and he's like, right?
Well, but he tells Reger, Harry Towns' character, to basically, stand aside, that he'll go ahead and do it, right? He'll face the firing squad, in other words. Don't cause a fuss. I think he kind of, I know he's the one that they're seeking out there, but he's like, don't cause a fuss.
But that old short guy caused all the damn trouble.
He really did.
Because he's really a believer.
He's not a beaver, a believer.
Our group, when they land, every mayhem breaks out, right? And one of our guys gets hit on the head. Kirk gets the lady to jump in his lap. I was thinking I had a comment right here. What was my comment? That was oh yes, I have this problem and you have to help me with this. I never understood why when Sulu beams up, he says, "You're the guy." Why does he say that at the technician that's standing in front of the transporter console?
Because I think he thinks he's an Archon, right? I thought when he beamed up, he
says, "They wear these clothes, not these clothes."
Right,
He's
exactly.
talking to that guy.
I just thought he was kind of like, since he's been kind of like pulled in so quickly, he thinks they're the Archons, and they're not. These other guys are waiting for the Archons to come back, basically, I thought. And
is he just picking on that guy because he's looking straight ahead? Is Sulu picking on the guy saying what he said in the transporter room just because he's in front of him? When they go back into after the festival, and they saw the stuff that was going on and they go in there. We've got one guy, red shirt, saying, "You have a daughter named Tula?" "Yes." "You'd better do something. She's outside." "I know. It's festival. It's the will of Landru." I'm thinking, this is like that guy in Friday's Child who just shoots at the Klingon without asking any questions. Why is this guy talking?
Well, they do it all the time. Even
He's
in
talking
Squire
in front of the
Gothers.
short guy, and the short guy knows that they don't belong. He should keep his mouth shut. Why is not Kirk the only one? They're going down the planet. He should be saying, "All right," and nobody talk. I'm talking for everybody. Here this guy is talking about the daughter, which only gives away more that they are from the valley or not of the body, because they're saying it right in front of the short guy who doesn't like anybody. "You have a daughter out there." And then the short guy's going, "Yeah, it's the festival. You guys should be out there." And the red shirt is admitting, is exposing the fact that they don't even, believe in this stuff. Every time I watch him, I go, keep your damn mouth shut. Why is Kirk letting this guy talk? And that's not the only time he talks. He says it a second time, I guess, the second time is when they walk up the stairs or something. "What about your daughter?" He spouts off again. He's just enforcing it to make the little guy run to the Lawgivers and get somebody killed.
Well, they all do it. In the Squire of Gothos, like I was saying, the guy's going to shoot the Squire, right? And he's pulling out his phaser, and Captain Kirk has to say, "Not now." I mean, they all do it. And then the one where the little cloud is climbing over the mountain and he starts shooting at it, and Kirk's,
Yes.
They're always doing that. They're always doing that. That's why I said, and you said, no, there was a whole bunch cut out, Kevin, but on the one where Kirk is doing the rolls and stuff and all the bombs are falling and the guy stands up and says, "There they are." And I'm like, get killed. Why?
Later on in this episode, Landru shows up in the dungeon and, "Captain, he can't hear you." And then red shirt comes up and says, "Yeah, but he'll hear this." And he pulls out his phaser. Kirk has to go, "No, God, what is with these impetuous 20-year-old, I'm Superman. You're on another planet, for crying out loud."
So I thought, you've got a lot of pictures of the little extras running around and stuff. There was a lot of pretty girls in this one. That one that you got running toward the camera here at 64,515 or 64,515, so.
64,515. Yes, and she appears later. So she's running across this way. So I grabbed pictures from that festival of the ladies to get a feel for what they were, how bad this thing really was. To me, it seems like it could be a horrific, thing. Everybody just letting off steam. And there were people beating people up over the head.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. And when she, the trauma that his daughter has the next day where she's coming down from festival.
Screaming, yes.
Yeah, she's like, why would you want to go to festival? It doesn't sound like a real festival to me. Because she was in what? Trauma. Severe trauma from being out that night.
Yes. So 64,515, she appears 56, they're at 71,321.
At 71321.
Yep.
Is that her again?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's her again. Yeah.
So they use the same one. But see, she looks like she's enjoying whatever this guy's doing, the groping.
Yeah. So they're smiling. I grabbed the smiling shots. We got a screaming one later on. She comes in there. I want to see. And so people are can have a good time. I don't know. They're releasing.
Also have her kind of jumping into the guy's arms. So, right?
Yeah.
Either she's attacking the guy or she's jumping into his arms. I can't tell.
Jumping into Kirk's arms.
Oh, is that Kirk? Oh, she's jumping onto Kirk. Okay.
And the guy on the side just got his head beat by someone else on the side. That's our guy. You can see that there's another lady there being chased.
Yeah, but she's smiling as well.
Now check out the guy that's at. That I believe is Bobby Clark, the guy who did most of the difficult work in the Gorn suit.
Oh, is that him? That's the one?
Him. This is a stunt guy, and he just ran through that window.
What's his name? Bobby
Clark.
Okay.
And he just went through that window, came back out, and now he's shouting, "Festival, festival." That's his only line in Star Trek because he's a stunt guy.
Really?
I think that's the guy. So the book I was reading described that, and I think I got the right guy, because there were only two guys that shouted "Festival, festival." It's Vylar, and then this guy.
So cool. So
then we've got Kirk, and your pronunciation of Landru, is it Landru, Land? Is it what Kirk says right now? Landru. And later on, we've got a Landru. We've got Lawn-Drew. I mean, it's pronounced all sorts of different ways, and I make little comments there. Here's Kirk with his Landru. His Landru now is what Kirk says right now.
Now, what's this wax on, wax off thing you have here?
There's a very interesting interesting transition here. He says, we're going to have a plan. So you analyze the stuff in the air, and then, hey, Spock, we have to talk because we need a plan in the morning. And they're talking by the door. He was looking at the door, and they're in their little... Right. The camera moves from left to right towards and has a lit lamp in the room because it's nighttime. And then they do a fade to the lamp off. And then the camera moves back and moves on. We just transitioned. It just told us we just spent 8 hours. 12 hours sleeping from 6 p.m. Then they went to sleep. They did their thing. We just saw that lamp, and I don't see that very often in Star Trek. I thought it was an interesting shot. It went over to the lamp, and then our nighttime lamp faded out, and they put this other lamp in its place. It kind of moved into position. That's what I was trying to show. Maybe we show a little clip of it.
I have a question for you, and hopefully you can help me.
I have an answer for you. You may not like it.
I know you do. Well, I'm going to love it. I know your answers are always succinct, concise, and well thought out. Captain Kirk is looking at the aftermath of Festival.
And it's like probably 5:57 in the morning, right? He's noticed it's winding down. They're going to stop all of a sudden.
Yeah. So when Sulu's on the street at the beginning of the episode, before he's beamed back up, and he's with the other one, and they're getting away from the body thing. The streets are pristine. Festival starts, the streets are pretty pristine. You get to after Festival, the streets are a mess. Who's picking up all that mess? And also, it looks like they're using furniture and other stuff. So I'm assuming that all that stuff would get completely destroyed between Festival and Festival. I mean,
people threw stuff out of the window. Is what happened to the furniture. They just throwing stuff.
Yeah, they're throwing stuff. They got it. It's all in the street. So sometime between Festival and Festival, they repair all that stuff. They put it all back and they clean the streets. I'm just wondering where the crew is that does that. Is it the same people? And Landau just kind of says, "Okay, now it's time to clean up."
You know how he can summon the body to all go after people together? Summon the body to get the work done.
Oh, there you go.
I think everybody will be in their slow mode pace, and they'll all be cleaning up the mess.
What is this episode about? I mean, because they're very slow and methodical during the non-festival time. They go completely crazy doing Festival. They go back to that slow pace stuff after Festival. I'm just wondering what this is about. I know it's about control and maximum control.
Okay, now tell me this. Before we jump back one frame to talk about Spock and go forward to you haven't laughed yet at my clock close twice. Twice. Okay, here's my question. How often does this festival happen?
Yeah, I was reading about that, and honestly, I don't think anyone's figured that out. I don't think there's any Trek fans that have figured that out.
All these years, I've been assuming that it was like, well, it can't be more than every month because they got to clean up the mess all the time. I didn't know, and I'm glad to hear that no one has really identified, or that I didn't miss something, a giveaway in the episode that said how often they do this. Thank God you didn't say, "Oh, it happens every 6 p.m." I didn't want you to say that. I wouldn't be happy at all. Read some versions of the script, and there's some hint, that was dropped, that would be good.
Yeah.
Okay. You see there are two, what do you call ad-libs in this
Oh,
show.
are there? Okay.
Yeah, one of them is Spock is lying on his back and his eyes are open while he's sleeping.
Yes. That was an ad-lib?
Well, that was his idea. He came up with that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Now we aren't even at the episode yet with the fried eggs. What's the one where Spock, we didn't have to throw the blind.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Well, here we find out, never realized it until now, all these years watching this. There they say, oh, I have this little, and McCoy's going, yeah, I should have figured or something, right? That he's going to.
Exactly.
With inner eyelid. Okay, now this is the second time I put down clock far, clock close. Open door, door open, door closed. No laugh, Addy. Both times at the beginning of the episode when they show it, when they landed and said, it's 6 o'clock, the camera zooms in on this clock tower, which was made for this episode. This shot is also a zoom in. There's lots of zooms in this episode.
There is a lot of zooms in this episode. There are. I noticed
this one is through the window. This is not in what's the movie Contact? It starts outside and Ellie's on the inside and she's tapping CQ, anybody out there, and she's trying to reach Florida again. And the camera is on the outside on the upper veranda coming into the window, and it goes through the window via CGI. Really cool. This one kind of gives that flavor. The camera's on the inside. Kirk is leaning in the window looking at the time, and the camera goes and zooms until it sees the clock, and it gives me the impression of the camera is moving through the window. Okay, maybe I'm overstating it. It zooms in, and that's what the second shot is. I'm showing you below Kirk. That's how far it zooms in one shot.
That's really good. Yeah.
And
but it's still
at 5:57.
You think that's going still through the window, or they actually cut to that? Because you're showing a picture of Kirk looking out.
That's one motion. That's one zoom.
Okay.
Then
you have Kirk looking through an open window, though.
Yes. So and then he's looking up at the clock. So which is it? Is it closed in the first shot where he's looking out of the window? Is that closed?
Oh wow. Oh yeah. I see what you're saying.
And the camera is looking through a closed window, and then he's looking.
So that was kind of an error in the script, huh?
Well,
because if you look at 11, 19, 17, and then you're looking at 11, 26, 06, the window's closed and the window's open, right?
Yeah, but I bet that's a stage, the one where he's looking out.
Yeah, sure. And are you showing on 10, 25, 17, and 20, the violence of the shadow violence, right?
Yes, that was where I read about how much violence you got to tone this down, or how are you going to depict this? And they came up with this idea, and it looks very light here, but it is a nighttime shot, and they have shadows on the wall. And I picked the beginning one, the end one, and the middle one is where you can see there's two humans. Well, there's an elbow going out this way. There's two humans interacting.
Right.
The violence, you don't get to see it. You kind of know that there's interaction.
I like that you really broke down this whole thing, because for me, I kind of went past it pretty quickly and into the more of the actors like Shatner and Nimoy and stuff. And you really broke this sequence down. It's amazing. You really broke this sequence down a lot.
I wanted to know more about how violent it was, and I didn't want it to be violent. I want it to be a party. A release. Yeah. And people act differently when they get drunk, right? Someone got some beer, drink beer, and they're all happy and the nice kind of. Well, so I kind of was selective in my shots of, okay, I'm going to grab to see that the women were smiling and go, okay, this is just a big party, not a big event, because she comes in later on. Tula comes in screaming, and so
that could be how festival goes.
So I was looking at how balanced can I find something that it's just festival, and then of course I had to put the 3 shots of the shadow in that I think is the violent encounter, or implied. I don't know.
Yeah, but you got violence from the very beginning. Like she's jumping into Kirk's arms and the guy's getting binged in the head. Same shot.
Oh yeah, right. A happy party and a beat him over the head. Oops, I just hit you. Okay, sound waves like in the apple. Oh, they are attached with sound waves. Spock says something about that. And didn't we have another episode? I wonder why I said the apple. There's another episode. Why did I say the apple? I thought I would mean something like, yeah, not the apple. The Way to Eden, where the guys wanted to find Eden and they turned on the sound waves and knocked everybody out on the Enterprise.
Oh, right.
So Landru does the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
he does hypersonic kind of thing. And below that,
they use that a lot though. It's not just this one, it's in a lot of other episodes too.
Okay, look at those light panels. When he pulls that belt off that's covering it up, they turn on a light behind that wall at one level when he lifts it up from him. So they got the light on him to show, hey, it's not generating the light. They shine a light on him to say, oh, look, he's exposing the light. And then when he drops it off of the backside, they turn on another light. So you can see that now there is a shadow there behind him on the second shot when they have a light coming from the front. I watch that when they turn on the light and they have to match the room light.
Yes.
Right.
They do that quite often. Yeah.
Right. And here it's the same thing. He takes the velvet off and they turn one light on. He puts the velvet off on the backside. They turn another light on.
Now, what is that referring to? I'm not.
That's a light panel that was, and they said that's inconsistent with this culture. And he says, well, they think this was from the Archons 6,000 years ago, or this some.
Right. That's when they're bringing up the Archons. Yeah. And I know you love.
I don't.
McCoy.
I do not like to make fun of people. I don't want to make fun of people. I don't want to make fun of people by creating stills, because you could take anything that's filmed and pick the right still, and that tongue will be hanging out, or that something will be funny. Well, there he is with his lips.
And there you go. Landau's not there yet. The other guy. So the triad, the last member of the triad.
Look at 334904, and you'll see that console in about every Star Trek episode.
Yeah. I think it is.
That would be in the episode with can't even think of it, but the
not Daggers of the Mind, right?
No, third season.
I think in Daggers of the Mind that's there too. Isn't that the one she's standing at? Isn't that the one that the woman's standing at when she's going after Kirk right there? That looks about like the same console.
And you think comes up and then you push it down. Oh, is that all you do? And then
exactly. Why is something?
Insert shot from Galaxy Quest right here.
That would be great.
Because of that console. Okay, and look who it is in 33340309. Is
that him?
That's Skywalker Senior. I swear. He got his helmet off, and it looks just like. Do you know he was in Lost in Space before this?
I did not know that.
I don't know what he played, but Mark, the guy, Torrin Thatcher, is that who that is? Yeah.
Oh, is that Torrin Thatcher? So they're blasting the hole and trying to kill Landau.
Whoa, below Darth Vader, this is the second ad-lib. 3821114.
What's the ad-lib?
Put the word ad-lib. I'll
go. When Spock punches the guy. Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what he says?
Yeah. Because he punches him. He doesn't. The Vulcan pinch wasn't something he did there. That's right.
411025. Marplon says, "This is Landru. I am mowing the Landru." And then I show you that the special effects for this, when they phaser that wall open, it repeats over and over. I show you one sequence of it. Where it goes big and then it goes small, and so then it goes big, small over just a second or two, but I just
These are all hand painted, you said?
back then,
Wow, that's unbelievable.
sure they knew about computers, but they didn't employ and they
Are these all hand painted in the USA? Because I know that like all the Simpsons are done in overseas. They're all painted overseas and stuff.
But
All
they
the
had-
animation.
they had 2 special effects houses doing their special effects, and that was in Hollywood. They would ship that stuff over and say, here you go, here's the model, do this, we want this. They did it in-house, right?
Wow. I wonder how much they paid for that.
Right. What was the last episode we watched?
The court martial.
I think
Or-
they said there was $8,000 worth of special effects in that one. Must have been
Court
matte-
martial?
Yeah, maybe matte paintings or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Probably.
Okay, so isn't that beautiful the way that, I mean, I'm sure that's a lot of work.
I'm sure that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
A lot of work that we're not going to get it done in time kind of thing. And then I write, and we're back because it goes up and down and up and then it gets back to a frame again. And then they repeat that. And then I
Yeah.
say, okay, fine. That repeats about 3 or 4 times. I go, I'm not going to take all of those. I just wanted the big cycle. I found out it repeats. Okay. And then I say the dot. I start with the dot. I show you how that wall gets larger and larger. And then finally the red goes away and we can see inside.
And what do we see? We see a massive, I don't even know how they got these computer designs. I think they were just on a lot of stuff. I guess they checked with experts, but it doesn't seem like the computer to me, even at that time. I don't know about in the 60s. Maybe I would have been fascinated by a large computer. Let's see. I don't think our computers were this big.
They look just like the ones in the episode Tomorrow is Yesterday with the tape.
I don't think we ever had this style of computer, right? There was never anything that looked like this as far as a computer was concerned.
It was either tall and thin,
Yes.
and then it went into those little consoles with the built-in tube and keyboard on a cart and a paper tape reader, right? I don't think they were ever. Oh,
Yeah.
but they did look like the ones in the episode where Spock, the menagerie, where he changes the voice. Starbase operation.
Oh,
Starbase
right.
operation. Those
Right,
consoles, those existed as tape readers. You'd have rooms and rooms full of these 4.5 foot high tape readers.
No light. No light. Darkness, light.
Yeah, look at the background. As they try to fire,
Uh-huh.
they turn on the big 10K lights on the set, so the back wall is all lit up, and that's the moment where they discover that the phasers don't work. It's the signal that Landru has done something to their phasers. The light turns on.
Yeah.
Take a look at the last line there from Landru. Help me, help me, help me. Reminds me of I want to stay. From
Yeah. Okay, what were you going to say?
492429. Already this morning, we've had half a dozen domestic quarrels and 2 genuine knockdown dragouts. May not be paradise, but it certainly is human. Sounds most promising, Kirk says.
Oh, yeah.
It reminded me of some other episodes, and I thought that there were other episodes that had this kind of thing. I'm hoping it's not just this one. But the only thing I could think of right now was Miri at the end. They said something like, oh, there's going to be truant off. Yeah, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right? But this ending with the dozen domestic quarrels and 2 genuine knockdown dragons just reminds me as if there's another episode like this, but I couldn't place it. Then
there is. You're absolutely correct.
Okay, so the next voyage, what we're doing next week.
We're doing Montreblon. Ricardo.
Space Seed, right?
Space Seed, yes.
Yeah, I don't know what it's about.
I think it was a really good episode to launch off of, right? I don't know what they launched the other episodes off of, but this one was a really good episode to do a movie from. I think it was a good seed.
Right,
Space
but they had to watch every episode, right?
Uh-huh.
To see what could they pull and go, wait a minute, what happened to those people on that planet?
Yeah. God, I wasn't thinking about rating it. I don't know why.
You have to.
I didn't think about rating it. No, I don't know why. Because we started out on the rating scale that you had of 0 base.
Right? 0 to 0. Okay, Bruce, that's where we start. And I like 0. Okay.
No. How much did I like this? You know, I like some that I could like draw on what they're trying to tell me. And on this one,
you couldn't quite figure it out.
I don't think I could quite get it. So I'm going to give this like a 79.
I am going to give it a low 70 because I don't think that I have to watch this, or if I was stranded on an island, right?
Yeah.
This is not one that has to be in the set of
right. Even what you're putting on Spock here, on some of the other ones where he's getting more contemplative and stuff like that, it's not happening in this one like the other ones.
You know, I don't like them. Well, here's Kirk meddling in someone else's, and
yeah.
And it's outside. It's not. I like those bottle episodes. I like the Enterprise. So it's going to get a very, because I need variation, and I'm around the 90s a lot. It's going to get a set. I wish I could look at my other ones. I don't know if that's legal. Without looking at the other ratings, I'm going to give it a 72.
72. Okay, that works about right. I'll leave mine right. I said 78, right?
79. I thought you said 70.
79. Okay.
Well,
79.
you can roll this back and find out what.
I'll go to 7. I'll go to 78. Yeah. Anyway, all right, man. Another great episode. All right, boss. Good job. Great episode. Going back in the head thing.
No, that's just a feeling. You just crank up the voltage over here in the little sensor, and you're gonna go, all right, and I'm gonna just sit there and veg on that. And
you're not, because you're gonna think it's more like an MP4 with compression rather than.
It's not the real deal. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's a good. That'll shut someone up. Well, yeah, we might be able to find the pleasure center of the brain, but it's going to be digitally compressed. You're not going to be happy.
Yeah. I want the full experience. Well, fiber can't handle it quite yet, but we could put multiple fiber channels in.
But that costs too much for you. You have to hockey roll life savings. So maybe you want to go back to real. Eat the real salad.
Just get Kirk down here. Kirk, Spock. Wasn't it Spock? They didn't want to give up the body of Spock
in the Simpsons. What?
Wasn't it Spock's body that the guy didn't want to give up? Was it Spock or someone else? It was Spock, right?
What do you mean give up?
Those globes that wanted to experience each other's touch again in Star Trek.
Sargon. The episode is. Right. Yeah, that episode. Sargon, Lalesa.
Yeah, whatever that one was. But you see, you're gonna want the full experience. You're gonna try and get the fiber channels to feed you the full experience.
Right.
It's not gonna. You're gonna go, no, something's missing here. The taste. I can't taste it.
Just not quite right. And other people are gonna go, oh, you vinyl people, come on, go digital. It's no big deal. You're not losing anything. Right?
I swear to God, I think I've talked to you about Taylor Swift before, right? The only reason that anyone listens to Taylor Swift is because we've lost our auto fidelity. That's the only reason. If anyone could really hear how bad she sings and how bad those performances are, they would totally not. Are
you talking about
Taylor Swift?
Are you talking about what's a thing called Cher? Made popular auto-tune. Are you talking about
yeah. Did Cher make that popular? Auto-tune, yeah.
Well, she did a song with auto-tune as an obvious enhancement.
Yeah.
The song, and you knew what was going on, and everybody was using it.
I don't think Taylor Swift uses auto-tune. No, honestly. I mean, if you got to watch her on the Grammys when she's singing with Stevie Nicks, she hits some unbelievable, awful note, and Stevie Nicks just goes, what the? Just the way Stevie looks at her, it's like, what the hell was that? It just cracks me up every time.
Yeah,
I was just like, Yeah. So, or that one girl, the one girl that plays the flute or something. It's funny as hell because she's sitting there playing the flute, and her audio channel goes out, so there's no flute. So she's just sitting there going like this, and then she's going, "Oh Jesus!" I forget who that is. It's just funny as hell though, because she makes an obvious joke out of it, right? Because she's not playing it. She acts like she is because it's an audio track, and it goes dead.
Yeah, that happens. That has happened a lot, right? With
yeah. Is it live or is it
American Bandstand kind of a thing where they're just playing the instruments, but they're not playing it.
That's why I didn't know this whole thing. And we could wrap this call up, but the whole thing with Milli Vanilli, they were a perfect group. The guys that were the front men were perfect for it, and everybody made it like a big scandal. There's not one artist that doesn't do that, right? So.
And you just said we don't need what? We don't need to be what? What did you say?
Implants.
You don't need them. No, we still do. You can't
I got to send you a great one on robotics. These people that have lost their limbs and stuff with robotics. Oh my God.
Oh God, it's just amazing what we do.
We're living in a really cool age right now where, it's going to be so much, after I die, it's too bad because I could get a whole body replacement in about even 70 years from now. I'll be able to get the whole thing done.
Yep.
I'm just not going to make it that long, Bruce. I'll try to hang on, but I'm holding on.
We can't put a man on the moon. I always say, hey, when something fails with computers, these two programs are not that. Put man on the moon. Oh wait, we can't do that anymore. We can make two computers talk to get. Oh, two modems talking. That was a nightmare. But I'm cleaning out my garage. I just got rid of 2,000 pounds worth of stuff at the dump. Yeah. I'm working on trying to, because when Elon Musk calls and says, Bruce, you want to go to Mars, I got to be ready.
You gonna do it? Well, is it going to be Elon or is it going to be Bezos?
I don't care.
Or is it going to be the guy with Virgin?
Great line.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's going to be one of those three, right? And if they pull the resources, although Elon goes, Bezos who? Jeff who?
Boring Company?
The Boring Company?
I love it.
The Boring who?
He's got a way to store. He's got a way to collect energy with his
solar panels.
Roof panel thing.
Yeah.
He's got a way to store it with his garage panel. Yeah. He's got a way to consume it and use it in cars.
Yeah.
The cars are going to have extra energy and are going to be able to feed it back to the grid because his little solar panels will be on the car for all we know. He's got a way to use the cars to go from one city to another because he's going to bore the underground place to go.
Yeah.
He's got the system. He's got the
infrastructure.
Ecosystem. Yeah.
Ecosystem, yeah. Well, and if you look at when you get into space, right, zero gravity and shit, you don't need as much energy as you do on Earth. So he's got to have a light source though. There's going to be no real light source out there in space. So he's going to have a hard time with those solar cells.
We're going to have to be exercising all the time. I can't wait till that plug goes here and they cut me off here and they can just put me in a jar because then I don't.
You know what's going to happen though there?
Message that is yellow. And I have no rules turned on to turn anything yellow. Wow. Yes, I do. Right here. Sender is a member of group. Yep.
There you go.
Sender is a member of group, either family or friends. You're yellow. Yeah.
Wow. I made it. Thank God I made it.
I made my rules work again. So, okay. They color sort my stuff. There we go. I got a Kevin Lynch scheduled Zoom meeting.
Yep.
Is that what you wanted to tell me?
Yes. So answer that and we'll talk to her on Friday.
Answer that. What do you mean?
Well, put it in your schedule. Make sure you schedule it. You're going to be on the Zoom meeting on Friday.
God, I don't do this schedule.
Just say accept or put it in your calendar. Go to your calendar and say accept. I don't know how yours works.
Adding a new event. The calendar contains a new. Please select the calendar. Well, yeah, I got 50 calendars. Okay, I'll pick that one. I say okay. And then what happens? Then it's on. Oh, Star Trek edit meeting, inviting you to a scheduled Zoom meeting. Oh, show, revert, update. Oh no. And it also has a little thing up here that says new, replied, accept.
There you go, accept.
This is so complicated. I have a secretary for this. And she's in my closet, and her name is Anne. I mean, well, I wish Anne would take care of all my needs.
Yeah.
Can you tell me?
What?
Look at this meeting thing, and it says the time. And Erica. Oh, I didn't. Okay, Erica Marie Nicolette B. Bedonia.
Yeah, I think she needs a longer name.
Yeah, because she put a period next to the first B.
I know, right?
My. That is just limiting my expression. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna call this meeting good.
Please do. I don't even see you anymore. You've drifted off so far.
I've drifted. I'm drifting down below the horizon. All right, Bruce. Thank you very much. It's been a great meeting. Another one in the can. We'll have our editing meeting on Friday, and
will you know by Friday what the resolution is? Will that be done by then?
It should be. I usually I'll probably get one tomorrow. Well, it's a long one tonight, but usually sometime tomorrow I'll get a thing that your video's ready to download. So if I get it tomorrow, I will.
Take a look.
I will download it. Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Because then we can figure out if it
goes
up with that,
related
we'll
to
go
the
up
iPad
again.
or not. Yeah, we'll know whether it's related to the iPad I'm using or not. Yeah.
Oh wait,
cool.
Let me do the Star Trek.
All right, man. You look great. Okay. Have a good night.
Yeah, good night. Yeah.